right. Hello, everyone. Just giving me a second. Watch party. See who's going to join us for tea. Whew, it's been a busy last couple of days. Wednesday came fast. I feel like it's still like Monday or Tuesday. Let me see who is here. If I can see. Let's see. All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Tea with Teresa. Let me take off these glasses because they always, the last couple of times I kept forgetting to take them off, but they always give a glare. I want to say first off, thank you all for joining me every week. I actually bumped into someone last week, I think it was, after tea. Well, my attempts at trying to get the Tea with Teresa started and experiencing technical difficulties. So it ended up being almost an hour later, maybe half an hour or so later. Either way, it was at 7 something. And someone had stopped me and said, "Hey, what happened?" Like, I was trying to, I was looking for you, trying to join you for tea. I made tea. And I was getting ready. I don't think he actually made tea, but it was really nice of him to say that. But because he's a comedian, and he said I was trying to join you, and what happened? And I said, well, "You were really watching?" It's like, yeah. I'm always shocked to see that even one person is watching. But it was nice to see that at least somebody locally was watching and was waiting for my weekly tea with Teresa. So thank you for that. And also, I know last Thursday was a little kind of scary. My daughter had an incident, had something almost happen to her. And I want to thank everyone who reached out to me afterwards, even a couple of days later, especially Ed, and asked if my daughter was okay and if she was doing fine. So I thank you for checking in even after that. So, been a busy week for the campaign. These last couple of days have been really, really busy. We've been ramping things up, calling people, making sure they know what's going on with the voting. So glad to see that the presidential elections are to stay during the primary. So I'm just going to take a sip of tea because it smells so good. I made my own chai tea. Vanilla chai this time because I ran out. But I had cinnamon and spices, and I had some vanilla and a little bit of cream. So anyway, so I was really excited to hear that the presidential elections are back on. And if everyone's not aware, and I'll probably go into this more tomorrow or not, I may do it just now. Excuse me. Absentee ballots have been mailed, at least in Schenectady County, not the ballots, excuse me, the application for the ballots. I received mine, which was funny because I think a few days before I had requested electronically. So I'm debating if I'm going to fill out the form because I don't want to confuse anyone because I know they're extremely busy now, especially since there's going to be a huge uptick in absentee voters. So hopefully you got your absentee application in the mail. If you're not sure how you should fill it out, all you need to do is, it's going to say what's your reason for voting absentee, and nothing there says COVID, right? But you can choose, I'm pretty sure it's the second option, and it says temporary illness or disability or something like that. So that's the one that you want to check off if you're not sure what to check off. and this is only the application for absentee ballots. So we were all, and everyone's campaign, and so many Zoom meetings I've been in with all these different people running for office and other political figures, and we're all like, what's going on? Is it going to be mailed? When is it going to be mailed? And the applications have been mailed. So as soon as you get it, fill it out and send it in, and then you will get your ballot in the mail. On our website, thearseforsenate.com, thearseforsenate.com, you can find absentee information. I'm going to put that because I don't know if my thearseforsenate.com. Yeah, so you can find all that information there and where to get it. And I think we have it for every BOE across the district. And I'm also trying to get some graphics up on the website so you can see each section of the ballot and how to vote. So I'm probably going to work on that myself tonight because I love doing stuff like that. So that should be up soon. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at thearseforsenate@gmail.com, thearseforsenate@gmail.com. Ask any questions or whatever. Anybody in the comment section, let me see. Don't see anything just yet. So you can always ask. Hold on a second. Let me see if we can do a little thingy here. It's so hard actually to see. Let me see. Hold on a second. Who is here? It's not, because I had to switch up everything, it's not always easy to see who's here. And it's so weird because when I'm done with the video, I'm like, I've been talking to myself for 20 plus minutes or half an hour or whatever. And that's it. I've just been talking to myself. But then when I stop and I see the video, it's like 50 views, 75 views, 100 viewers. And I'm like, where were you? I don't remember seeing you. So please, pop a hello in the comment section. Let me know you're there. And I'm not just talking to myself for 20 some odd minutes and just, watching myself drink tea. It would be nice to see who's there. If you have any questions, you're not sure what absentee is or why, also, there should still be the option to go to the polls to vote. At least I haven't heard otherwise. During our calls earlier this week, that's what I said, we've been really ramping things up and speaking to voters. And a couple of the people that I know I've spoken to on the phone were poll workers. And my question usually is, how are you? Do you need anything? Is everything okay? Do you have questions about anything? We've been doing that for the last 2 months, just calling everyone and just checking up and making sure they're okay. And then after the conversation moves on, are you aware of the voting and what's been going on with our abilities to vote? And at least one poll worker, and I didn't know that they were a poll worker, said, oh yeah, I'm familiar with all of that. And I think I recall him saying that the polls will be open, but he was actually hoping that they actually close them. So another poll worker did not express that, but it may be a sentiment carried across, with all poll workers. But at least another poll worker that I know personally told me that, yeah, the polls are going to be opened. People still will be able to go in to vote. I, however, am going to vote by mail. Like I said plenty of times before, you guys know, my children and I, we are high risk. We're asthmatics, so we're not severe asthmatics, at least I am not anymore, but, and neither are they, but we still have asthma, and this is not something that, we want to test and get sick with. So, again, if you need any information or you want to ask a question, you're too shy to pop it in the comments, thearseforsenate@gmail.com, thearseforsenate@gmail.com. You can definitely email me any questions that you want. Going back to earlier this week, making phone calls, we were calling for volunteers. I was really happy to see some new faces, and not that I don't love my team. You guys are awesome, you know that. But it's always exciting to see new people who show up and show that they believe in you. So it's it's really encouraging. And a couple of people that I've known for years joined, and at least one person from way back gave me a mess no sent me a message, and he goes, Trisha, I want to talk to you. And I go, oh my gosh, what's going on? He's an older gentleman, so I thought that something was really wrong. I thought, COVID or something, like the most extreme things. That's just sometimes my brain goes that way because I haven't heard from him in a long time. And all he says, like, I'm good at this stuff. And I was like, yes, I know you are. And he goes, I want to volunteer. Send me some numbers and I'm going to call. And it was really, it was amazing because last that time we spoke, I was his underling. So I worked as a volunteer with his organization. And for him to call me, really respect him too, for him to call me and say that he wants to volunteer on my campaign. Yeah, that's much. So he couldn't tell, but I was smiling the whole time on the phone because he is so hilarious. He is so funny. Respect him to the fullest. And he was just his old self. It was like we picked up from where we left off years ago. And he was just, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful conversation, and I'm happy to have him volunteering. It's the weirdest thing. It's really weird. A lot of people from my past just showing up and saying, I want to help. And I don't know, I know some people are like, why would you think that? Because, people see me differently. And I'm like, because, it's me. So it's kind of weird. But I really like it because it's encouraging. Okay, let me see. Some things are coming up here. Hold up a second. Oh my gosh. Hi, Timothy. If elected, will you commit to vote for MMJ expansion, independent of the M? I'm sorry. So, Timothy, I'm an educator, I'm a historian, and when you throw letters out like that, I have to go through like the list of things that it could be. If you could just be more specific, I could definitely answer that. Programs patients are now on course to be left unchanged for the second year in a row. Not a single lawmaker, save Senator Savino, is willing to call for MMJ expansion because of the rampant problems. If you could just spell out what those... So expansion, yes. So I am all for medical marijuana. What expansions are you looking for, Timothy? What exactly is there that you want? Just wait for... Oh yeah, totally. Totally for that. Yes, Marijuana Regulation Taxation Act. Yeah. So but you're speaking about expansion independent of the MRTA. Yeah. Anything, listen, Timothy, anything that just makes, it's common sense, and anything that is in the betterment of human beings, especially people who are suffering from opioid addiction and also mental health. People like myself, I remember when I was younger, my mother had actually used the seed, boiled it, and gave it to me for a while for my asthma because it was that bad when I was younger. I don't know if that was legal or not. It was way back in the days. But anything that is for the betterment of human beings. Yes, I'm a mom and I'm a grandma. So yes. I want to see all the details, of course, and make sure that is actually going to do some good, because I'm not just going to vote for anything just because everybody's, it's some trend and everybody's on it. No, I make sure I do my research. I understand the implications. And of course, as a historian, I connect what's happened in the past to what we're doing now, the possibilities of the future, and make sure that we try to cover all bases and make sure we're not making idiotic mistakes. So yes, 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 Timothy. Yes, increased dispensaries. Yep. Yes, I'm all for that. Absolutely no problem with that. Yep. Anybody else with a question? Timothy, I hope you got some tea. The key here is yes, I got that. Yep, I understand. It needs to be separate. Totally. So you got one more senator on for that, huh? Yep. Once I get in there and I can get my hands on it, definitely be all for that. Anyone else? Timothy, are you local? Are you in the district in 49? And thank you for asking questions. Some people just sit and listen to me ramble, and I hate hearing myself talk all the time. I'm being forced to do this, people. My team's like, you gotta do it. And I'm like, I don't like taking selfies. Tell you. I'd rather be like on the ground, doing the work, getting my hands dirty, instead of sitting there and, pontificating like some people or taking pictures and pretending to do work. That drives me nuts. I actually like to do work. So, yeah. So sitting here, drinking tea and talking to you, I don't mind drinking tea, but here we are. Let's see, question or comment. Leadership's commitment to social equity and community reinvestment is yes. Have you read you must have been on my website. Yes, definitely. But they're holding patients hostage to a governor who seems unwilling to acknowledge reparations are owed to communities affected by the drug war. Yes, I agree. I agree on that. Reparations definitely are owed. Timothy, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a longer conversation. There's some information that needs to be exchanged. Can't do it here. But you can email me. It's in the comments, teresaforsenate@gmail.com. Send me your information. We'll chat. We have a lot to talk about. So, and thank you. Thank you for that. Definitely. Yeah. And again, I hope you have some tea while you're commenting. So that's the point here. And also, Timothy, tomorrow is the town hall, COVID update and town hall, where I really, really get into these subjects. When I do tea with Teresa, it's more like it's hump day, it's Wednesday. So it's like, okay, we made it this far. Let's have some tea. Let's, relax, recap the last couple of days. And then tomorrow's all like it's business. Let's talk about policy. Let's talk about this and that. Okay, so you're in a district. Yes. Oh, thank you. He says, I was happy to see you run for mayor, but sad I couldn't vote for you. We'll be happy to vote for you here. Yay! Yes. Yeah. My purpose for running for mayor is because I got tired of sitting around waiting for people to get stuff done. And like I said, I'm the type of person, and those who have known me over the years, I like to get stuff done. I like to go out and just do it, because waiting for someone to do it. What's that documentary, Waiting for Superman? Yeah, I'm not waiting. And I know that was totally like not what it meant. It was mostly about schools and children and the education gap and all that stuff. But even with that, waiting for someone to come save us, I just can't. Tomorrow we'll be holding our second big Zoom phone bank. That's right. That's right. Yes to that. Thank you, Timothy. You're awesome. Yes. So, okay. So tomorrow, my usual COVID town hall update. It may be one of the last, since we're moving into, a phased opening. I think what we're going to end up doing is phasing the COVID updates into more of a town hall, meet the candidate question sesh. You know, you can come like what Timothy's doing, saying, "Do you believe in this?" And you know, it's like he's like, "I want to know," and I totally appreciate that. So we'll probably move it more into that aspect, and then on top of that, yesterday I think it was. Oh my gosh, I don't know what day it is. Yesterday we had our first Zoom phone banking event, and it was awesome. It was kind of weird for me, but because I do calls from my computer, so I had to get out of there a couple of times because people were asking questions, which is great because we can't be in the same room at right now at the same time. So this is it's more encouraging when you're in the Zoom phone banking and you can see many other people making phone calls. We're all on mute, but if you have a question, you can unmute and ask the host or our volunteer coordinator, Heather, and say, hey, so someone asked this and it's not in the script and I'm not really sure what to say, or I'm not sure what to do. You get your training right then and there, and you can ask questions. I'm there. So if you want, if someone asks you a really hard question and you don't know how to answer it, you don't know how I would answer it, you can unmute and say, Teresa, got this person on the phone and they want to know blah, blah, blah. And then I'll go, okay. And I can answer them as well if I'm not in the middle of a call myself. But I mean, it was fun. My daughter, who is 16, she got on and she made her first Zoom phone banking call, campaign, anything. She called mostly all of the people that were on her list were people who were her peers. So between the ages of 18, because you know you have to be able to vote, between 18 and 20 something, I think it was. But I had asked her, I said, hey, would you mind calling some of your friends? Because some of her friends are 18. I said, calling your friends, you know, and asking them if they're planning to vote. And she was like, yeah. So we made a list for her. So, I mean, and we can adjust that. We can adjust the list to your comfort zone. If you want to just call people in your area, we definitely can do that. We can make a list specific for you. So like with Timothy, you're in Boston Lake, so we can definitely do that. If you had your choice, which committees would you want to serve on in the Senate? Education, children and family services, and weird one, right? Farming. So farmers, not farmers, but you know, I definitely want to do. I'm getting into this because of this district. I'm getting more into understanding the importance of having and supporting our small and medium-sized farmers. I won't say I'm an expert at it. The closest I've come to is working on a farm when I was going to school for animal medicine at Delhi. And I loved it. I loved working with animals and everything, but it's not the career choice that I chose. I was very young when I decided I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I didn't do it. But that was the closest that I got to it. But later on, you know, as you grow up, you get older, you realize that in order to eat, we need to have farms. So, and we can't eat if we don't have people growing things or have, you know, dairy farms or anything like that, or, you know, chicken farms and stuff. And I mean small to medium. I'm not talking about these big, you know, manufacturing, you know, I don't even want to get into it because I'll go on a tangent. But this is the way that we will be able to be self-sufficient and organically sustainable. Because during this pandemic, we had a shortage on a lot of things, and now we have a shortage on meat. Why? Because we were dependent on imports. So things coming from outside in, instead of having our own supply readily available within our own district. And we have that. We have everything that we need right here, but we don't depend on that. So when emergencies happen, look what happens. We're all like, oh my gosh, the shelves are empty. There's not enough food in the stores, or we don't have access to these things. Why? Because we're depending on shipping, trucking, delivering, all that stuff, when we can actually do that right here. In Schenectady, we have an urban farm. love it. I remember being at City Hall last year, I think it was, fighting for them to repeal the law that says that we can't have chickens in our backyard. Why not? And every argument was made as to why it is best for us to be able to do this while we're in the city. And I got up there and said what I had to say. So I think those are the committees I would be on. Sorry, long story, long answer. Just wanted to explain that farm thing. I'm totally a city girl. I promise you. I'll probably be on the farm in some heels, knowing me, boots and heels. But I love animals, and I think farms are a very important part of our district and our survival as New Yorkers. Period. Right? As a historian, I tell my children, especially when I used to homeschool them and my students, I tell them, you look at New York State. When you tell people who are not from New York, they ask you where you're from, you say I'm from New York, they automatically think the city, right? And then you say, no, I'm from like someplace upstate New York, right? All right. New York is about 10% urban. It's 90% like farm country and everything. Like we have more rural areas in New York State than we have actual cities. Like we have, of course, New York City. But then when you go out, even Schenectady, to me, being born and raised from New York City, Schenectady is not a city. But, you know, living here for almost 20 years, I consider it a city because when I leave outside of Schenectady, it gets more country and more country in my view. But when you look at the state entirely, it's mostly rural. We have a lot of green space and a lot of parks and a lot of farms, and we have very few cities. So when you think of that, what are we doing with that space? We need to be smart about it. We need to be smart about making sure that the entire state is organically sustainable and work towards that. So I would really look forward to being on that committee. If you would have asked me last year if I hadn't run for Senate, it probably would not have been that committee at all. It would have been education, children and family. But the third one definitely would not have been that. So yeah, I'm happy to say that I've grown and I've learned a lot of things. So, and I plan on doing more of that as your senator. So I look forward to your vote. We got 3 minutes left, and I hope I didn't ramble on too much. Timothy, you are awesome. You're my new best friend. Thank you for asking all those wonderful questions. Looking to learn and being out of your comfort zone. Yes. That's what it's about, Timothy. Listen, you got to sit in on one of my classes. I tell you, you got to sit in on one of my classes. This is me. This is how I am. Always. Always. I'm not afraid also to say that I really don't know and I don't understand, but I won't stay there. Promise you I won't stay there. I do not like not knowing, so my team knows this, because it drives me nuts if I don't know. So I make it a point to learn. I make it a serious point to learn as much as I can about anything that I can. So, yeah. All right, we got like 2 minutes left, and I hope I really don't like this new live thing because I can't see who's there. Usually I can see people popping in, popping out. I can say hi, but I really don't like this. But yes, nice. Mine too. Yep, mine is in history and my master's is in education. And I also have a degree in human services and teacher education. So that's early childhood education. So, yep, I made sure I tried to know as much as possible. Overachiever. Ooh, rehab counseling. Yep, I know what that is. I know what that's like. I went from working in medicine, oh, let me see, which one came first? I worked in animal medicine first while I was training in nursing. So I did a year in animal medicine, and then I did 6 years in nursing. So I started out as a CNA, worked my way up through the levels. I don't even know if they have CNAs anymore. And it used to be the levels, right? and then you'd be like CNA 5 or whatever. So you're doing work that you would, like an LPN would do. And then those years that you do, then you go and you challenge your RN test. So, what did I work? I worked in med surge. I worked in telemetry. I worked in hospice care. Yeah, a whole bunch of different ones. And then I don't know what happened. Something happened, and I felt like I wasn't doing enough, which sometimes I get that way. So I ended up in retail management for like 15 years after that, and then banking for about 3 years. And I still felt like I wasn't doing enough. In between, I did my community activism and all that other stuff, and then I started working and volunteering on campaigns and things. So I did a lot of pivoting myself and trying to figure out where I can best fit and be most effective. Always learning, always growing. So, and then here I am today. All my degrees later and all my life experience later, still wanting to learn more and still wanting to do more. So, okie doke. Yeah, wow, it is 7 o'clock on the dot. And I'm not even halfway done with my tea. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. I'm a teaaholic. Can I say that? Yeah. My daughter's like, Mommy. What? What'd I do?
Talk about tea.
She said I talk about tea too much. It's Tea with Teresa. Okay, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you can join us on our phone banking, and maybe during the and then after you've done maybe an hour or so of phone banking, you can join me for the town hall, and we can talk more policy. We can speak about what's being done right now in our district and what's not being done. Certain leaders have not shown their face, and when they have, it's only been to take a picture and not really lead and direct us to where we need to go, or what we need to do. So we can chat about that tomorrow. And definitely, Timothy, definitely just give me an email, right? Because we need to have a conversation. And anyone else, shoot me an email. I should say I'm totally approachable. We can talk about anything that you need to talk about, or you want to express your concerns. Maybe there's something that I don't know is an issue, and I'm always aware that there are things that I don't know because I don't know what I don't know. But I'm not the one to come to you and say, these are your issues, this is what I'm going to fight for, and you should know that this is an issue for you. I'm more like, what is the issue for you? And, tell me what I don't know about it, and then I'll be your loudest advocate. So that's pretty much how it would be as your senator. Anything that you need me to do for you that's really important for you and your community, that's what I'm going to fight for, to make sure that you get what you need. Okie doke. All right, everyone, enough of that, and I'm going to finish my tea. I've got some DIY projects. Maybe I'll share some pictures, and talk to you all later. So stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, drink tea.